Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, your favorite tarot reader, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what have they realized about you recently for the person on your mind. Have you ever felt like someone's secretly against you, where there's a weird energy there and you just can't figure out why? Well, that happened to me recently with friendship drama, and I know you love a little tea, so I'll share without giving too much away. And let me tell you, what I discovered completely shocked me. To get clarity, I tried something that actually works thanks to today's video partner, Psychic Source. Some friends of mine started having their own conversations without me. At first, I tried to not take it personally, but then the little petty, passive-aggressive comments and jabs started. Someone else pointed this out to me, and I realized something is off. So that's when I booked 3 different psychics and Psychic Source to see if I'd get similar messages, and I did. The first psychic told me that one of them basically stopped me from growing the other friendships and that they're not real friends. The second psychic said something very similar, that they're fake, shallow, jealous, and that I intimidate them, which I didn't expect. She said that they act helpful but aren't really supportive, which is such weird behavior in my opinion. Now, the third psychic told me something that literally blew my mind. She revealed that gossip twisted how they saw me and that others' lies had affected the group dynamic. And I just don't get why you would believe somebody else's lies over asking me the truth. Suddenly, I could see my blind spots and who I couldn't trust. I didn't want to stop with just one reading. I wanted to be sure. After talking to all the 3 different psychics, what amazed me was how their insights lined up. Each one gave me a piece of the puzzle that helped me see the bigger picture. That is the beauty of Psychic Source. You're not limited to one style or one perspective. You can choose how you want your reading, whether by phone, video, or chat, whatever feels most comfortable. And because only 2% of applicants are accepted, you know you're connecting with someone truly gifted. And if it doesn't resonate, they have a satisfaction guarantee. Their accuracy was scary in the best way. They knew exactly what happened as if they were there, and it helped me see the situation clearly. If you need answers like me about love, career, or anything in life, Psychic Source is hooking up new customers in my community with a special deal. Use my code Siren at trypsychicsource.com/siren when checking out, or you can use my link in the description box below at trypsychicsource.com/siren. For a limited time, you can get 40 minutes with an advisor for just $19.80. That's up to a $240 value. No other service comes close to offering this kind of deal. Don't wait, find the clarity you need today. They also donate 1% of your purchase to charity, which I really respect and admire. Thank you to Psychic Source sponsoring today's video. So getting back to your pile selection, for pile 1 we have Tiger's Eye with the 5 of Wands. For pile 2 we have Clear Quartz with the 8 of Pentacles. And for pile 3 we have Dream Amethyst with the King of Pentacles. Take a look at the piles we have with this person in mind and see which one you're most drawn to. And I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. So once you're done picking a pile, you can find your timestamps for your pile in the description box below. Then I'll see you at your reading. Hi pile 1, if you chose the Tiger's Eye crystal and the 5 of Wands card, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what have they realized about you recently for the person on your mind. Please be aware that this is a general reading, so only take what resonates, leave the rest. And I'm going to go ahead and shuffle your cards. You can keep this person in mind while I shuffle. So spirit guides of pile 1, what have they realized about pile 1 recently, the person on pile 1's mind? What have they realized about pile 1 recently? For some reason in my mind's eye, I'm seeing a mirror that is shattering. So mirrors represent truth, self-reflection, And so when a mirror shatters, that can represent an illusion shattering. But let's see what comes up in the card so that I can connect the messages. What have they realized about pile 1 recently? We have the 7 of Wands. We have the Sun reverse. We have the Star reverse. And we have the Strength card showing up reverse. Okay, so I'm gonna try piece together the information I'm getting and make sense of it, because I'm seeing different information, but it's not yet like making sense, or like the puzzle pieces aren't fitting together yet, so I'll try kind of fit them together as I go along. Firstly, I'm seeing this person realize something about insecurities that you may have. I'm also seeing them realize that you have been defensive lately, and perhaps this defensiveness is here for a reason. Like, I don't know if this person has been like trying to push your buttons lately, or if they have been pushing your buttons like unintentionally. Because the 5 of Wands can represent conflict, right? I feel like there was some kind of, I'm hearing ulterior motive that they had. And I feel like this person wasn't seeing it from your perspective. Like, through this conflict, they were only seeing their own perspective, and they were perhaps not seeing what they did or what they said to make you so angry at them or to make you so defensive. It's kind of like they were only seeing their side of the story. They were only seeing their perspective. They were never grasping what made you mad, what made you defensive. Then with the illusion shattering, okay, it's starting to make sense now. Then with the illusion shattering, it's like this person maybe finally self-reflects, finally realizes what they did wrong, to kind of put you in this defensive mode, because I feel like this person's realized you're not like this. You're not an angry person. You're not a defensive person in general. You're someone that can be vulnerable and you can be open with your emotions, but I feel like this person hasn't been creating a safe space for you. And whatever they've been doing or saying has put you in fight or flight mode, has made you feel like you need to defend yourself against them. And perhaps that's what's putting you in this tough energy where you feel like you need to stand up for yourself or, again, defend yourself in some way. Perhaps for some of you, this person was subtly crossing boundaries of yours and not realizing it, or pushing little buttons of yours and not realizing that that was how they were affecting you. So there's this feeling here of them maybe finally taking responsibility for their own actions and how their actions may have caused your reaction. So before, I feel like they put the blame on you for your reaction and was like, why are you being like this? Why are you reacting like this? But they weren't seeing how their actions led to your reaction. Does that make sense? So that's what they're realizing here recently, that they played some kind of part in how you were reacting to them, okay? They are realizing that 2 wrongs don't make a right. And that, you know, if they continue fighting, if they continue trying to be right in this argument, that they could potentially lose you, and that this could potentially be a situation where no one ends up feeling happy in the end, where both people feel disappointed, where this kind of like war between the two of you continues, where nothing heals and things just continue to become more chaotic. So this person is realizing that they need to put their pride to the side, that they need to put their feelings to the side, feelings of animosity, resentment about the situation. And they're realizing that they need to almost like take the higher road and not continue contributing to more conflict that would eventually lead to either a separation of your connection or just even more chaos, like I said before. And they're realizing that they always feel the need to be right, and that that's not helping the situation, because you're also trying to prove why you're right or why you think this is like this. And it just creates even more friction, and it doesn't create a resolution here. It doesn't allow you two to come together. So this person is realizing that they need to see your side of the perspective. They need to see their own side and kind of enmesh it together with the Temperance card I'm seeing in my mind's eye, and kind of like find healing through that. Not let their ego take over and continue to create even more chaos, like I said before. Because there's themes of ego and pride here with this person. Let's get some more cards. So we have the Hermit card showing up next. We have the Knight of Pentacles showing up reverse. There's some kind of argument you had with this person where you were wanting consistency from this person. You were not happy about the fact that one day they're giving you this type of energy, the next they're not. Maybe they were hot and cold. Maybe they gave you mixed signals. Maybe sometimes they would talk to you a lot, sometimes ignore you. And you were just not happy with the inconsistencies here. Or perhaps there were inconsistencies in their story where you felt like they weren't fully telling you the whole truth. Something about that's coming through, and they're realizing that your side of the argument has validity and that you have a point. I think this person is just embarrassed to admit, again, like where they went wrong. There's so much pride and ego here that they are realizing they need to put that to the side. They need to put the embarrassment to the side. And if they're going to choose their ego, if they're going to choose that, then it's going to create even more of a drift between the two of you. But if they put that to the side, then yes, it will be embarrassing in the moment to admit that they're wrong. And yes, it will feel weird, but it will salvage and maybe create healing in your connection. Because this person doesn't want to be alone, and they don't want to continue this conflict with you. Let's see, the Wheel of Fortune. They want something to change, and they know you do too. And that comes with changing themselves first, changing how they react to the situation, changing their next actions. And the thing is, if we usually take this type of action and it usually leads to this negative consequence, then we need to change the action in order to get a different outcome. And this is what this person's realizing, that they can't keep doing the same thing with you, repeating the same pattern, repeating the same cycle, because I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune, this is talking about a karmic cycle. That's what I feel intuitively from this card for your situation with the Five of Wands, like some kind of karmic cycle that plays out lifetime after lifetime. So you have had past life connections with this person, and I don't think this person's realizing that, but they are realizing that there's a pattern that they need to stop and put an end to, because if they keep continuing this pattern, it's just going to continue the loop, and in the end, no one will be happy with the Sun reverse. And in the end, they'll be alone, because maybe this is a pattern that plays out in other relationships of theirs too. Page of Swords reverse. This person is realizing, I'm hearing that they need to apologize. Okay, I feel this heaviness in my heart when I say they need to apologize. Maybe they do feel bad for hurting you or for agitating you in some way. But they don't always know how to go about it, how to go about communication in the healthiest of ways. Let me see what I can channel clairvoyantly about the situation, and then we'll pull some more cards in a moment. So the problem that this person has realized is that they can sometimes be the problem in their own relationships. They can sometimes be the reason for destruction in their own relationships, because I see this angel figurine, and this person's almost like a cat, knocking this angel figurine off. And there's like this mischievous energy of like pushing your buttons the whole time, getting a rise out of it, and then being like, what? Why are you reacting like that? You know? So I'm seeing like a cat that's like pushing an object over the whole time. And at first it's like for fun. At first it's like a little bit mischievous. And then the angel figurine breaks and then the cat's like, whoa, what happened? So this person's realizing that their own actions have led to this. This is the consequence of their own actions, and they can't keep like moving like this in your relationship. I don't know what it is about them like pushing your buttons or being mischievous on purpose. I don't feel like they have harmful intentions, but I feel like they get a rise out of it, or it's fun for them, which is weird to say, but that's what I'm channeling. And maybe with the angel figurine, that represents you being kind of innocent in the situation. Like I said, just reacting to what they're doing. I feel like this person causes a lot of chaos in their own connections. And it's somehow fun for them. Like, that's what I keep seeing in my mind's eye. For example, I'm seeing this person, like, make loud noises and irritate the people around them. And it's, like, fun for them. So, again, there's, like, another message about that. And it doesn't have to be about loud noises, but Spirit is using that metaphorically. Like, someone's sleeping and then the person making loud noises and waking that person up. So there's, like, little irritants here. Like, this person's irritating you purposefully, mischievously. I don't know if they like irritating you. Weird, but okay. Spirit, show me more. They're realizing that they still feel confused about certain situations with you, about how you're feeling, about what you're thinking. They're realizing that they still don't know a lot about you, a lot about what triggers you, a lot about what you want. And they're realizing that sometimes they have this victim mentality where when they cause chaos, then they're like, oh, I always destroy things around me. Woe is me. Like, I'm not even trying to like be mean to this person or insult this person, but this is just genuinely what's coming through for me energetically. I feel like this person's finally starting to take responsibility, and that's what's coming through here. We have the Magician reverse. We have the Empress reverse. So I said something about realizing something about your insecurities, and the Empress reverse confirms that. So maybe they've been saying a few things to you and played on your insecurities by accident, and then they only realized after. Like, let's say they made a joke, for example, and they didn't know that was like a huge insecurity they just hit, and they thought they were just like having fun and it was just like joking around, but then it actually hit an insecurity of yours. Then they felt bad because they hurt you and they didn't think it was going to hurt you with the Five of Cups reverse. I'm seeing a situation like that, for example. It doesn't have to be that, but something about like saying certain things to you, not realizing how harmful it is, not realizing how much it hurts you in that moment, thinking it's just lighthearted, but it's not. So yeah, I don't know if this person is like constantly making jokes at your expense, or like saying certain things that are out of pocket and only realizing it later. And then I feel heartbreak in my heart chakra. So it's almost like this person is realizing how hurt you actually were. How much they actually hurt you. They didn't realize that before. This person does feel bad, and they do look at the situation and you with empathy. They didn't mean to hurt you, or they didn't want to hurt you. But I feel like there's some kind of like wake-up call happening for them. And this is like a hit or miss moment for them. A moment where they could finally change and transform something, or, continue to revert back to old behaviors. And this is a choice of theirs. And ultimately what they choose is going to determine the next outcome. That's what they're realizing. They're realizing that they're getting older and older, and they're still staying the same. Nothing's really changing. They're not becoming more mature. They're still childish in some way. This is not me saying this. This is me channeling what they're realizing. Because I see someone like getting older, and then they're still acting with an immature mindset, and then they're realizing like, whoa, I'm 30 years old. I shouldn't be acting this way. I'm seeing that in my mind's eye. Obviously, this person's age doesn't matter, but I'm using that as an example. They're also realizing that they can't keep blaming other people for what they cause. So I feel like this person's having like huge realizations around their own actions and how that may affect other people, and that they can't keep blaming other people and saying, oh, you know, this situation controlled me to be like this, or this situation pushed me to be like this. They can't keep blaming outside forces because they're the one that took that action. Even if another person influenced them to take that action, they still chose that at the end of the day. So they can't blame that person. So something about accountability is the message here. That is where I'm going to leave your reading. I do hope this resonated. Let me know how this resonated in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Hi there, part 2. If you chose the clear quartz crystal and the 8 of Pentacles, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what are they realizing about you recently. What have they realized about you recently? So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle your cards. You can keep this person in mind while I shuffle. Spirit guides of pile 2, please tap me into the energy of the person on pile 2's mind. Please show me, what are they realizing about pile 2? What are they realizing about pile 2? So for some reason, I'm seeing a student-teacher dynamic. And this doesn't have to be literal, as in this person was literally your teacher. But maybe for some of you, you have a message from a teacher of yours. It doesn't have to be. But what I'm basically getting is this energy of like, I'm learning lessons from you. I'm learning from you and you're learning from me, or both. And I'm seeing this energy of Kali around you guys. So you guys might be going through huge transformations, death and rebirth at the moment, and perhaps she's helping you through that. Of course, this person isn't going to know that, but I just feel like her presence is being shown to me as guiding you, helping you in this situation with this person. Then I was seeing, you know, like in those fairy tale movies where the princess kind of like runs away, especially like in Cinderella when she runs away and then leaves the shoe behind. I was seeing something about that, but I'm not sure what that means quite yet. Let me just get the card so that I can understand what this is about. Okay, we have the Ace of Swords reverse. We have the Hermit reverse. We have Temperance upright, and we have the Two of Swords. Okay, so with that princess energy, I'm getting this damsel in distress vibe. Almost as if this person wants to run after you, chase you, save you. I'm getting this energy of like a princess that is like so innocent and is almost like the damsel in distress. I don't know if you're running away from this person necessarily. Like, I'm trying to think what this message means. Did you walk away from this person? Are you like distancing yourself from this person? Or did you have to leave, like, not leave the connection, but like, maybe like not take a few days away from them, but like maybe someone here like had to leave, where maybe you were busy or something like that. Not like physically leave this connection, but maybe you had to go home or something. And it's like they keep wanting to see you and keep trying to chase after you, but maybe you're like busy or something. Or maybe some of you are playing hard to get. I don't know, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. And then I keep getting this vibe of like this person wanting to save you or rescue you. Like seeing you as the innocent deer in the headlights. And then there's something about them realizing that you actually don't need their rescue. That you can take care of yourself. Because now I'm seeing Fiona from Shrek when she kind of defends herself. And she doesn't need Shrek to defend her. I'm sure a lot of you know that scene I'm talking about in the first Shrek movie. Interesting that I'm getting like a lot of clairvoyant visions for you guys. With like Disney princesses and stuff. I don't know if you like Disney princesses, but yeah. Also, this person is realizing that they need to speak your language. That's what I heard when I saw the Ace of Swords reverse. It's almost like to understand you, to get you to open up. They need to speak your language. They need to kind of like learn to understand you and your mind. They've also realized that you're always going to have people around you. You're never going to be truly alone. And this is because you're just this lovable person that, like, people are always going to be on your side no matter what. Like, even strangers. People are just always going to want to be around you. So even when you want to be alone, you'll never truly be alone because there will always be someone wanting to support you or be by your side, including this person. But there's something about them feeling insecure about this. Maybe they don't always feel like everybody wants to support them or be there for them or be around them. They're also feeling insecure about the situation with you. Like, do you want me to keep chasing? Do you want me to leave you alone? They don't really know what you want from them. And they're realizing how confused they are about the situation. Like, they want to make a decision here with the Two of Swords about what to do next. But they don't know if they should slow things down, if they should speed things up, if they should put in more effort, if they should give you space. It's kind of like this weird energy of like, I don't know what you want. And that's what they're realizing. So maybe they're realizing that they need to ask you what you want, that they need to kind of follow your pace instead of trying to take the lead and see what pace you're comfortable going at with this person, whether this is platonic, romantic, whatever. Because it feels like they want to continue, you know, this relationship with you and continue putting in effort and basically just continue this relationship with you, but they just don't know what pace to go at. And they don't know like what type of intensity you like. They don't know if you like clinginess, if you like someone that's more nonchalant. Like, they really just don't know. And so there's this overall confusion that they're realizing they have about the situation. They're realizing how little they know about what you want or what you desire here. And the great thing about communication is that they can ask you, but I feel like this person's always just trying to get in your head and figure out what you want, but they can literally just ask you. Maybe they're realizing that. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands. We have the Six of Pentacles reverse. We have the Seven of Wands reverse. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. There is proof or evidence of them doing something. I don't know what this is about. Let me try channel here. There's something that looks bad, but it's not as bad as it looks. And if this evidence or proof was to get out to you with no context, it could look bad. So for example, let's say there were text messages between this person and another person. And if the person was to crop out the text message where there was no context, it would look bad. It would look worse than it actually is, the situation. It would make them seem guilty even though they think they're not guilty. I don't know if this person actually is guilty, but this is coming from their perspective. Let's say there was a video of them doing something without context, and if you had to just look at it, you would think something bad. It's almost like this person's afraid of this coming out to you. I don't think they're intentionally hiding evidence from you, but I feel like they're afraid of you finding out from somebody else, or afraid of you kind of just seeing it without them explaining it to you. So maybe they're realizing that they need to be truthful with you about this, even if it's an uncomfortable conversation, even if it's embarrassing to admit whatever they did here. It doesn't feel like they did something bad, but it feels like it looks bad for them. Does that make sense? So they're realizing that they either need to tell you the truth or somebody else is going to most possibly tell you, or you're going to find this somehow on your own. And it's going to be worse for them. It's going to look like they're lying. It's going to look worse for them if they hadn't come clean. So that's just what I saw in my mind's eye, not necessarily in the cards. Yeah, with the Six of Pentacles reverse, this person is realizing that they don't really know if you want more generosity from them. Like, they don't really know if they should chase after you harder, if they should try harder, if they should just be more consistent. If you don't expect them to give you much. Like, they're not really sure how you would react to their generosity or them chasing after you in some way, shape, or form. It's like they want you to let your guard down. They want you to trust them. Maybe they're realizing that it's going to take time and they're going to need to show you their character consistently before you fully open up, before you fully let them in. And that even if they had to do these big gestures, like all of a sudden, it wouldn't really prove anything about their character. So maybe they're realizing that in order to get you to trust them fully, in order to get you to be open to them fully, they need to like be consistent here with the Knight of Pentacles instead of like, you know, doing these grand big gestures all of a sudden and not doing it again later on in the connection. Whether this is platonic, romantic, take it how it resonates, but that's what's coming through. They're realizing how much power you have, either in the workplace, according to your reputation, social status, maybe hierarchies. Because I'm seeing someone with like a lot of power and they have the power to almost tell other people what to do or instruct other people what to do. So I don't know if this is in regards to your work where you're like a manager or something, or if you just have influence. Take it how it resonates for your situation, but something like that's coming through. They're realizing how much power and influence you have and how like when you tell people to do things, they just listen to you. Maybe even when you give people advice, they just listen to you and automatically trust you. This person is realizing that they want more affection from you. They want more like clear communication from you and clear signs from you of like how into them you are if this is romantic, or how into them you are as like a friend if it's platonic. They kind of just want a clear sign or answer from you because they kind of feel like they don't really know where they stand with you. They don't really know how you feel about them, if you even like them, if you even want to be around them. Because they don't mind chasing if you want them to, but they also don't want to chase after you if you're like, ew, I don't want this person, you know? Do you get what I mean? Because like sometimes there's situations where like if you had to apply this to dating, for example, let's say there's a situation where a man wants a woman and he's chasing after her and she keeps rejecting him and he thinks, oh, I must just try harder. And then she's like, does he not get the hint? Like she's confused. But then maybe there's a situation where the woman wants him to chase after her. Like, it's confusing for this person. They don't really know. I see this person, like, realizing they have to do something to impress you. I don't know if they actually are going to impress you, but they're realizing that they need to do something big to almost, like, get you to notice them or to get you impressed by them because you don't really seem that impressed by them. And this seems to be, like, superficial things. Like, for example, I see, for example, if this is a man, I see him like going to the gym and trying to almost like flex his muscles and look good for you. If this is a woman, you know, maybe she's wearing perfume, like putting on her makeup a certain way, like trying to look more beautiful. There's something about like superficial things that are going to get your attention or big gestures that are going to get your attention that may come across as superficial, like maybe buying you gifts or something. Something like that showing through, but they don't know if it's actually going to impress you or just make you look the other way. Ace of Pentacles reverse, the Emperor reverse. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I saw from Spirit that this person is like asking advice from AI or ChatGPT on what to do in the situation with you, which is kind of making me laugh. I didn't expect that message. So the Ace of Pentacles reverse, the Emperor reverse, and the Five of Swords. I don't know, they're thinking that this is like a risky situation because they could do like this superficial gesture for you or like this big gesture for you, but what if it just turns you off? Or makes you think this person's superficial. Yet they could do it, and what if you like it? So there's like a risk here. There's like this feeling of like they could either like it or hate it. And then they're thinking and they're weighing out the possibilities of like, oh, what if I buy them like this expensive gift and they don't care for expensive gifts and they're not like a materialistic person, and what if they just don't care about this? And then I'm just like wasting my time like trying to do this, but they don't even want this. So it's kind of like they're trying to figure out what you want. They're trying to get in your head. Again, there's like them realizing like, okay, I could do this for you, but what if you don't like them? What if you don't like it? Or I could do this for you, what if you do like it? They're realizing something about the riskiness of like either pursuing you romantically or platonically, and whatever they do next you might like or dislike, depending on like who you are as a person. They're also realizing that if they lose out on a chance with you, and if you reject them or don't want to be around them, if they lose this opportunity to create whatever connection this is with you, it feels like you don't really know this person that well. You're not too involved with this person or too close to this person. They're realizing that if they lose you, they might not get a second chance. There's something about like trying to control your reaction. Trying to almost like read your mind. Trying to control your reaction. Like I said before, figure out like, okay, are they this type of person? If they're this type of person, I predict that they'd probably react like this. Probably, I don't know. If they're this type of person, blah, 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 blah. There's something about that showing through here. And even when they talk to you, it's like they don't really know what you would like them to say. It kind of feels like they're just doing everything in their power to get you to like them, to get you to notice them. It's like, I don't see them like being fully themselves. It's not that they're being fake. It's not that they're trying to be something they're not. It's just that they're coming from this place of trying to get you to notice them, trying to get you to be impressed by them. But maybe they just need to be themselves. And if you don't like that, then maybe you're just not a good match for each other, platonically, romantically, whatever this is. And if you do like it, then it means you're a good match, you know? I feel like this person is like jumping over hoops to try get your attention, but I feel like if they were just yourself, if they were just themselves, like maybe you would appreciate it more. But that's just my perspective on this. I'm seeing you in like a wedding veil or something. So maybe they're realizing that you're like marriage material if this is like romantic. If this is platonic, then maybe they're realizing that they would kind of like want to commit to you as a friend and be friends with you for a very long time. They're realizing that they're perhaps overcomplicating things with all this overthinking on what they should do next. They are realizing that you've maybe given them some hints or some things you said about yourself that could help them analyze you in a way and figure you out, and they're almost going over mental notes of things you've said or done to try grasp your personality. So maybe they're realizing certain things about your personality through trying to analyze the things you've said, the things you've done, and reading between the lines of that. Yeah, so that is all I have for you, pal 2. I really hope this resonated. Let me know how this resonated in the comments below and what you thought of this. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Okay, I was busy clearing the cards. I know I said bye already, but I saw a vision for you guys after I said bye and while I was clearing the cards. So there was this one movie. I don't know the movie's name, but I know the guy that played in it. I just can't for the life of me seem to remember his name. Like, I know his face. I just can't remember his name. But anyways, in this movie, he basically wanted to propose to his girlfriend. And then her dad was like, she doesn't like anything flashy. And so he wanted to like do something with like doves or something, and like do some kind of like flashy proposal, right? But then the dad was like, she doesn't like these kinds of things. And then it was kind of like risky for him because he didn't know if she was gonna like it or not, or if he should change the plan and do something less flashy. So I feel like that vision also like adds to the message of what I said. Like, this person almost just like wanting to appease what you want. So yeah, that's all I have for you. Bye. Hi, pal 3. If you chose the Dream Amethyst Crystal and the King of Pentacles card, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what have they realized about you recently for the person in your mind. Please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle your cards so you can keep this person in mind while I shuffle. So as I said hi to you guys, I literally just got a phone call. So perhaps this person could try reach out or communicate to you soon over the phone. Or maybe they're realizing something they want to say to you, something they want to communicate to you. It's making me think of that. So spirit guides of pile 3, please tap me into the energy of the person on pile 3's mind. Please show me, what has this person realized about pile 3 recently? What have they realized about pile 3 recently? So they've realized something about how religious or spiritual you are, because I'm seeing this vision of someone like at an altar space and there's a bunch of like white long candles around them and they're praying. So it's making me think of spirituality or religion. And then I heard open book. So maybe this person's realizing how much of an open book you are. 8 of Cups. We have 2 of Swords reverse. We have the Temperance card reverse. And we have the 2 of Pentacles. So they're realizing something about your beauty. Something about you looking like a specific character or celebrity or something. Like, for example, I'm seeing someone that almost looks like a Barbie or Bratz doll. Or someone that like looks like Nicki Minaj or something. Take it how it resonates, but there's something about like realizing something about your beauty. Like, you look like this certain person, or you have the same features as this person or character. They're realizing that you're possibly someone that could easily get the ick or get scared away by something someone potentially does. Let's say you meet a person and they say one thing that almost seems alarming or like a red flag. You're instantly gonna run away or fly away. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. I know you can't literally fly, but I'm seeing someone like fly away, which is why I'm saying that. Like, I'm seeing someone almost like turn into a bat and fly away. And bats, they can represent, let me see what they represent. They represent rebirth, transformation, representing the cycle of death and new beginnings, are associated with intuition and the perception for navigating the unknown or seeing hidden truths. They encourage courage, strength, and embracing change to achieve personal growth. They also signify release from fear as they move confidently through darkness and bring good fortune and happiness, particularly in Chinese culture, where the word bat sounds like blessing. Okay, so there's something about you just like not being afraid to walk away from situations with the Eight of Cups here. Like, let's say you get the ick from someone, you're just gonna stop talking to them instantly. Let's say you're on a date with somebody and you don't like where the date's going. You're gonna get up and walk and leave that date, even if it's 5 minutes into the date. You don't, like, obviously you care about the other person's feelings, but you're not gonna sit through the whole date when you don't see a future with a person. There's something about like courage to leave things behind, to end things and see something new. Like to see it as like there's plenty of more fish in the sea. There's plenty of more opportunities out there. Like I don't have to be just limited to this one person or this one opportunity or this one thing. Like there's so much to find out in the great unknown that I haven't explored yet. So they have realized there's something about that mindset that you have where it's not that you're not giving people chances. It's just that once they say or do something that alarms you, you're not going to take a chance on them. For your own safety, for your own peace of mind. I'm hearing that thing. I think it was a video where someone was like, I don't know who it was, but they were like, that's enough. I've seen enough. Something like that. So it's kind of like once you've seen a red flag or once you've seen something about someone you don't like, you're like, that's enough. I've seen enough. I don't want to entertain this. Maybe this has to do with them. Maybe they're afraid of doing something to accidentally turn you off or give you the ick or make you run away. They're maybe afraid of like messing up in a small way and then you never giving them a chance again. So you're kind of keeping them on their toes and they kind of feel like they're walking on eggshells, not wanting to make any mistakes around you or accidentally knock something over and cause maybe an ending between the two of you, metaphorically, like knock something over in your relationship. They're realizing how differently you approach things. They could be that type of person that kind of like gives people chances, gives people the benefit of the doubt, is indecisive. Like where, let's say they are trying to be friends with somebody and they see one trait they don't like about this potential friend. And they're like, should I be friends with this person? Should I not? Like, I don't really know. Let me just wait and see. Then sometimes they wait and see and maybe they find that it just gets worse and worse and worse and not better. But maybe sometimes they find that, okay, they're glad they gave the person a chance because maybe if they would have judged the person too early, like, you know, maybe they wouldn't have been able to have that friendship with that person. So it could go either way, but they found that they've also wasted time in connections by giving people chances and not like leaving immediately. So I guess there's like positive and negatives to both decisions. And I guess depending on the outcome you want, it doesn't really matter which choice you take, but I guess this person is just realizing how differently you guys approach things. They're also realizing perhaps wounds that they may have where they don't know where they got these wounds and it's being triggered through your connection. So the reason I'm saying this is because in your reading, I'm like talking to you guys and I noticed this cut on my hand and it's burning and I'm like, in pile 2 I didn't feel it, in pile 1 I didn't feel it, I didn't even notice it, and now it's like burning in your pile the whole time, which is making me think of like gaining wounds that we don't even know like how it got there, like where it comes from, but then all of a sudden it hurts and we're like wondering like, where did I get this wound? It's like, you know, when you get a bruise and you don't know where you got it, but emotionally, this is like an emotional wound. But I see them like being triggered being triggered emotionally by this connection, and then it leading them to see what wounds they have not healed, that they still have, that they don't know where they got that wound from. Does that make sense? I see that. I also see the Grim Reaper. And don't be scared of the Grim Reaper. I know sometimes like the Grim Reaper is like associated with scariness and things like that, but I actually see the Grim Reaper as something like a message of transformation. Whenever I see him in a reading, I see him as like bringing transformations. But I also see it as a symbol of like death and rebirth cycles. But maybe this person has experienced loss as well. So maybe they're realizing that you both can transform together in this connection. That you both can change and grow as people and let go of old versions of self and almost like be reborn into a new version of self through this connection. Because like I said, I feel like you're triggering this person into some kind of healing. And that's what they're realizing, but they're realizing this is not a bad thing. This could lead to change and good things. What they're realizing is perhaps they're not as healed as they thought they were. You know when you're single and you don't have anyone triggering you, and then you get into a relationship and all of a sudden there's triggers that you never knew were there? Kind of like that type of feeling, regardless of if this is platonic, romantic. I'm just talking generally, but I get something about like that, where when they were alone, they weren't really being triggered because they were kind of like isolating themselves. But now that they're around people, they're being triggered again. And they're being shown where their wounds are. They're being shown the imbalances in their connections through this connection as well. They're realizing that there's some kind of imbalance in your connection. But it's not just your connection. There were other connections of theirs that were like this too. So perhaps for some of you, this could be like one person giving more than the other. Power imbalances. Maybe one person has more resources than the other. Some kind of imbalance. I'm not sure what it is exactly. It could be different for all of you. We have the Strength card showing up reversed. They're realizing that they're not weak for having these wounds or for having these pains, but it is their responsibility to heal it and to not kind of bleed on people that didn't hurt them. We have the Lovers card reversed. Like, even though they're being triggered by you, like emotionally, like their wounds are reopening, it's not your fault that those wounds are there. You're not the one that caused those wounds in the first place. So it is their responsibility to heal that and not to take it out on you. That's what they're realizing. I feel like they're talking to other people about this. Like trying to get other perspectives on this. So Two of Wands, the Queen of Swords reversed. They're realizing how unsure they are. And this has to do with them potentially messing up or making a mistake. They're unsure of like how you would react to that. If there would be a separation. Of course, they're not going to like want to act toxic or anything like that. I don't think this person would ever want to hurt you. I don't see that, but it's kind of like they fear making a mistake and you just like cutting them out for that and not giving them like a chance to explain. But if you have given them many chances and they keep making the same mistake, then I as a reader also can see your perspective on why you would choose to cut the person out if they keep doing the same thing over and over. You get what I mean? So like I see both sides, and I also see your side because like I relate a lot to like being that type of person that just cuts off people like when they do something wrong. But yeah, I feel like there's something here about that they're realizing. They're realizing that they don't want to separate from you, that they don't want to lose you. With the Lovers reverse, that's how I'm intuitively reading that. They're also realizing something about their childhood, about how being bullied has affected them. That's what I'm hearing. They're realizing there's certain things on their mind that they want to tell you but can't tell you, or can't find the words to try to explain or express to you. I keep seeing like things to do with their childhood or your childhood. Like maybe realizing your inner child was wounded or their inner child was wounded. Maybe you have similar wounds. We have the High Priestess. We have the King of Swords. And we have the Eight of Wands with the Nine of Wands. They're scared of there being a halt in progress. You know, like when you're trying to kind of like move forward and challenges keep arising, but you're trying to move forward and it's like these challenges keep creating halts in progress. That's what I'm talking about. So this has to do with your connection, like them taking action towards you, you guys progressing forward in this connection, whether this is romantic, platonic. But they're just afraid of like challenges, like breaking things up between the two of you. Like, let's say drama happens and it changes things, or like you go through a rough patch in your connection and then maybe like one person gives up on the connection. There's something here about them asking themselves like, would you give me the same effort I give you? Would you like sacrifice the same things I would sacrifice for you? That's something they're questioning. Still yet to realize the answer. They're also realizing certain things about you based off what their intuition and gut feelings are telling them with the High Priestess. So let's say they have like some kind of thought about you, like, oh, you're like this, for example, and they're correct, but they're thinking that's in their mind and they think it's just a thought, but it's them intuitively connecting to your energy. They just don't realize it. Maybe they realize that you also do the same. I don't feel like they're realizing that they intuitively like download things about you, but I think that they're realizing that you do that for them. Like sometimes you'll be talking to them and you'll just say something and maybe that was on their mind, and then maybe they don't say anything to you, but they were thinking that and then you just mentioned it. Or let's say you say something to them and maybe they were concerned about something and you give them reassurance without them even asking for it, and it's like you just read their mind. That's the kind of vibe showing through here. We have the Devil and the Six of Pentacles. These cards fell over on the floor. So there's something about them realizing something about they can't withhold affection, or they can't withhold giving you effort just because they're maybe afraid you won't reciprocate that, because that would make them be guilty of being a selfish person. That's what they're thinking in their mind. Like, it would make them selfish. It would make them greedy in some way, like not sharing with you, not giving to you, out of fear of you not giving back. So the only way they can see if this is reciprocal is by giving to you and see what you do next. And if you don't give anything back in return, then they know how you feel about them. That's what they're realizing. And I don't feel like it's anything personal against you. I don't think you've given this person a reason to think that you're not going to give back to them. But I think they've just been through those situations that's important to them. And they don't want to pour into anybody that isn't going to pour into them back, if that makes sense. So I feel like they're kind of testing the relationship a little bit, trying to see how much you give back. They're realizing that you weren't intentionally trying to trigger them or reopen any of their wounds. It was maybe accidental. Because I see someone like wearing heels and they accidentally step on another person's toes and it really hurts. But then they're like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Maybe you did trigger them, but it wasn't like on purpose. It wasn't your fault. But you've kind of like addressed for them where they need to heal. Again, like they just don't want to do anything that would potentially scare you away. So that is all I have for you, pile 3. Let me know how this resonated down in the comments below. I really hope it resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.